Hi, everybody, and welcome to Executive Buying, the weekly market wrap for March 31st, 2017. I was trying to do something a little bit different this week, see if it works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'll try and read the feedback and see what happens there. With this video, what I wanted to do is actually go through some of the charts of what the market did this week and also take a look at some of the insiders that I was able to do research on that seemed to be pretty interesting and then just give you an overall look ahead on what's happening next week and what we saw in the market. And hopefully we could wrap it up quick enough so that we could keep the average viewer still paying attention by the time we're done. So let's get it started here. What we're going to do is just take a look at the Dow. We actually are looking at an hourly chart of the Dow here. And if you go back to the beginning of the week, which was right here in this start where we had a big down day based upon the fact that President Trump was not able to get the health care passed, and some people kind of took that over the weekend and saw maybe that would leak into the tax reform not being passed. But surely, just like it's been the case for the past so many years, every time we have a dip in the market, it seems like the bulls come in and start to buy that dip. So here for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we actually wound up closing the week right at this level here, which was up about 0.32% for the week. So not much movement, but a nice little recovery for the bulls to make the stick save. Secondly, the S&P 500 doesn't look much different. If you take a look here on this S&P, you'll actually see that we were able to staff off the bears, had a nice little rally with the bulls, and as the days have gone on, we kind of flattened out towards the end of the week, but we were still able to close the S&P 500 up 0.79% for the week, which is not bad if you could get that done every week. And finally, the strongest part of the market for years has been the Nasdaq. I mean, the Nasdaq with the tech companies like your Facebooks, Amazons, Netflix, Teslas, you name it. There's been a lot of companies that you could have made a tremendous amount of wealth with over time. And the NASDAQ actually wound up closing at another all-time high, which is quite amazing. If you take a look at this NASDAQ on the chart here, you'll actually see, even though the others were kind of flattening out, the NASDAQ just continued that nice upward trend into the end of the week. So really excited to see that these bulls in the tech industry are continuing to buy these shares. So that's definitely a positive sign for the bulls. Now, if you look at this from a monthly perspective, this is a monthly chart. So every one of these candlesticks represent 1 month. This month here, which is the month of March, which we just ended, first down month since October. Okay, so that's something that maybe you want to keep a little bit cautious on. It doesn't necessarily mean we're this whole uptrend since basically 2009 is not going to continue, but maybe it's time to have a healthy pause, correction, you name it, whatever you want. The next thing that I wanted to do is just kind of go into a little bit about what we saw here with the actual companies and insiders that we're seeing in Ford. So if you just take a look here, just bear with me 1 second. We'll actually take a look at Ford's chart here. What you'll see is in Ford, the chairman of the company, William Clay Ford Jr., he actually bought $1.9 million worth of Ford stock on March 24th. So we're basically looking at this. What you're looking at is a weekly chart. So he stepped in at $11.67, which is basically right here, and he bought shares, almost $2 million worth of the stock. Now I went back and I looked and I said, okay, well, if he's going to buy shares now, what does this mean after this big downswing while the market's going higher? Is he really confident, or is he good at buying his own stock? So what I looked at was the last time that he bought shares of his own company was in November on the 21st, so right in this area, in 2011. Okay, so what I saw, within 6 months after that purchase, is we see a upside of 30% in the price of Ford stock. Now, that's good enough for me. I know it went down afterwards and then eventually went back higher again. But the reality is, if I could get 30% within 6 months, I'm probably going to take it off the focuses and I'm probably going to lock in a nice profit. So the goal isn't necessarily to see things go up and never see them go back down again. It's just allowing us to get the opportunity that these insiders provide. So to kind of get a nice look ahead into the future here with these markets. Next week we have earnings season getting underway. We have 301 companies that are going to be reporting, and this week we saw the market go from panic on Monday that President Trump's not going to get any of his agenda through, and maybe this whole thing's going to be such a disaster, and the market's going to give back almost everything plus more of what it gained since his election. To hey, let's just take a look and see how it's going. So I'm still not overly bullish here. I would love to see way more insiders step in and buy shares. And maybe the real test of the market is going to be right after the earnings. Because after the earnings, we're going to see, for one, what the earnings did. And secondly, we're going to see exactly what these insiders could do because they're not going to be necessarily blacklisted. They're allowed to buy their own shares after the earnings. So the last thing that I wanted to show you was kind of a did you know. I thought this was interesting. I actually came across this through the week here on social media. There's a place called the Island of Discussion in Scotland where historically the people who had arguments were put on this island with cheese and whiskey, and they were not allowed off the island until they sorted out their problems. So definitely sometimes in my life I wish I had an island of discussion that I could put a few people on. But that's, I guess, getting off track here, but I just wanted to mention that. I thought that was interesting. So enjoy your weekend. Give me some feedback on this video. Not sure if it's going to work out to be great or if you guys like the other format better, but I wish you guys have a great weekend. Thanks so much.